All right, that was a very bad transition on the music there on my part. Sorry about that. We're off to a great start. Good to see everybody coming in here into the chat. Let us know if the sound quality is good. If there's anything wrong, just let us know in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from as well, because we're ushering in the new year for some people. So for Nicholas there, yes, over in Northern Ireland, he's going to hit the new year during this live stream. Coby, where are you?
I'm in Tennessee, so I'm on Eastern time.
Okay. Yep. So you're with me. And then Colton, you are where?
Yeah, in Texas, and I'm behind everybody. It's 5 o'clock here. So
Yeah. So you're gonna hit New Year's the last of all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not waiting for you on the live stream.
No, dude, I'll be asleep.
Yeah, me too. That's how I feel. I'm like, I'm so glad we're doing this because I get the perk of being able to celebrate the new year with Nicholas, but I don't have to stay up late.
Yeah.
The thing is, well, you say celebrate, but like the most you're probably going to get out of me is like Happy New Year. So,
hey, did you see that? I'm just noticing Tony changed his name to Token Wesleyan.
He did.
He did.
That's awesome.
I
Is
love
that
that
because we have a
Tony.
lot of Reformed people in this chat, and he wants to just make sure
I just know, like in our
That's awesome.
circles, that's how he refers to himself. He's our Token Wesleyan. Yeah.
That's great,
Yeah.
man.
And he said that on your last live stream too.
Yeah.
I wonder what other token subgroups we have in our chat. We'll come up with some. Well, he's also our token, one of our token England guys.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised in one of my last streams. I had some Anglicans hanging out with me, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, never had that happen before. So,
yeah.
What were you talking about? Was it the topic that drew them?
I don't know. Like, I don't even remember.
I think it was just a chill stream, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a chill stream, but they showed up. So,
well, that's what this is.
Well,
we're just going to be chilling, right, for a couple hours here. So, hopefully the Anglicans will show up to our chill stream.
Yeah.
Bring on the Anglicans.
Hey, more importantly, the Australians are already in 2026. So if a resident Australian joins, it's already the new year for him.
Yeah.
I'm kind of doubting it because they're probably they're probably done. They're like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope Family's right. Oh, sorry.
What did he say?
Hope Family Rebuy. He said that Colt was talking about his 2026 reading plan.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Bible reading plan. Yep. Yeah.
I'm old. I don't remember things.
Well, it was my own stream, and I don't remember it. So there.
Oh, so you did have a topic. That's a good topic. That's when the Anglicans showed up, when you were talking about your 2026 Bible reading plan.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That would be of interest to Anglicans.
Pretty
They
much.
like planning things, right? They like planned out
Liturgical structure.
Yeah.
Well, and I happen to be using "Be Thou My Vision" this year, which is a liturgical lead through in devotional reading. So maybe that, I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, Kobe's got a copy right there. Mine's at home.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Enjoy your game, brother.
Yeah. Is that someone you know?
He's popped in before. Yeah, he says watching the Texas,
Michigan.
Yeah,
that's Mitchell.
Yeah.
It's Texas versus Michigan, I think, is what that's saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's college. It's a football game, right, guys? I'm not.
Sports.
Yeah, it's part of the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kobe's in the know. Well, if you're down in Tennessee, they do a lot of college football there. Don't
Easy.
No, I'm not going to say anything about any particular
Tennessee.
team.
The Tennessee Vols don't really do a lot of college football, but my Georgia Bulldogs do. So there's that.
Okay. I thought you were just warning me not to make any particular comments about.
Oh, no, you can trash the Tennessee Vols all you want. I'm here for it.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know really a lot about college football these days, so I'm not opinion.
I'm not as into it as I used to be. I used to really be into it when I was a lot younger, but now I'm just like, hey, if my team wins, great. If they don't, that's great too. There's more important things in life.
Yeah. Yep. But there are a lot of people out there that what college football is,
That's
like
their
their
God.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's I mean, it's not my life, but I'm more into baseball, as you all know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go Braves. I know.
Oh, right. That's right. We've talked about it. I had to bring it up, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Also,
Both of our seasons were disappointing this year. So
oh gosh,
yeah.
I haven't told Nicholas this, but I also did pick this up.
Ooh, nice.
It
So
disappeared.
I know it's
Hey,
hard to tell with my screen, but yeah.
I see it, brother. I appreciate it. Have you read any of it yet?
No, that's going to be part of my books to read. I've got a planned video coming out. I've got that, and
Mhm.
I've got
Well, stop that.
the True North. So yeah.
Yeah, we're having him on in I forget. Well, obviously January, but I don't think we have a date set yet.
Brian.
Mhm.
Brian. Oh, cool. Very cool.
So that person who said they're going to watch Texas versus Michigan, do we know where they're from?
Mitch is from Michigan. Yeah.
Okay, and then isn't Hope Family Bindery in Michigan too?
Yes. Yeah, both of them elusive members of the BAP cave that is an underground of 1689 Baptists.
In Michigan specifically?
Well, there's a lot of them in Michigan, apparently. 'Cause,
Okay.
yeah.
Secret cabal.
Yeah, a secret cabal. Yeah.
The Kabaptists.
Yeah. And then I see Tony. Tony says he's got 3 reading plans for 2026. Well,
Well, one of the controversial things that I'm going to bring up, not right away, but it'll just so you know, it'll be on the
yeah, at least
radar for tonight. I'm
on the
gonna ask Colton about his switch to the NKJV for preaching. We won't talk about it yet though, because I want to wait for more people to get in. I know he got a lot of reactions to that, so he can tell us about that. You can use this as a therapy session.
Yeah.
I
Hate from
heard,
all sides.
I heard Colton, it was one of your best performing videos.
It is. Like, it's doing really well still.
Yep.
But I don't know if it's because people like it or hate it.
You know
No,
something?
you're right.
Sometimes when it comes to those type of videos, while it can suck getting all the hate comments, sometimes like analytics wise, it takes your video off and you're like, it's a fair trade off.
yeah, right.
I know, but you know what? It's still really it's a tough thing because you're right. Like it does take off, and it's great to see people responding, but it's hard to read those comments. It really is.
Yeah, you have to have the attitude of like Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, where he says, "Sticks and stones love were square." Like you get the benefit of more traffic, but it's like, yeah, there's something that comes with it.
So our token Wesleyan says that he's going to be doing Wildsmith, I think, for his first Bible reading plan, which is awesome. Tim Wildsmith. I've actually had people telling me they're planning to do that.
Yeah.
So that's great. The scripture guidebook he produced recently, and he has a podcast now that he's doing, reading through the Bible. And
first day comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't he say that the Zondervan, I know they're producing the Bible that you can read through along in the NIV, but didn't he say there's also one in the NASB?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got a couple
you can get
choices
them on
there.
Amazon, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just don't think I don't think he/they are advertising that as much because it breaks the theme between the actual guidebook and the plan. So
Yeah.
but if you do have the NASB, you can pick that up.
Yeah, the Bible. And then he might read through the NASB in the future. I think he told us that. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think he said he would like to. I don't know if he said he's planning on it though.
No, I don't think he said he's planning. I think he was like just open to the idea. I'm sure if enough people were like, please, 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 it might influence him.
Yeah.
And would probably influence Zondervan too. So yeah, speaking of NASB, we've got a big NASB fan down there, right? Coby, aren't you?
Of the 2020 edition, yes.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
I like the 95 too, and I like the LSB. I know some people will be like, yeah, it's all in the same family. But yeah, I've really taken a liking to the 2020.
Great.
Reason being is when it first came out, I mean, like literally, people couldn't already had editions of it, and people were already like, "Oh, it's went woke, and it's doing this and doing that, and just knee jerking," because people like to. We're sheep. We'll follow and say, "Oh yeah." So I didn't really, form an opinion on it. I'm one that I like to um, find out something for myself. So when I got a copy of it, I kind of started looking through it in different places, and I was like, well, I don't have a problem with what they did here. Because, like, if it was a text that was, in most translations, it says brothers or brethren or something like that, but you knew they were talking to a mixed audience, they would put in sisters in italics to let you know they were supplying that it wasn't in the original, but it was the intent of the author. And I was like, well, what's wrong with that? That's not,
the CSB does the exact same thing.
Yeah, and nobody pitched a fit about that.
Not at all.
I think part of the issue is that, like, you get such die-hard people for translations that it's, if you touch my translation, you
Yep.
like,
well, there's different. Yeah.
Before we even did a video on it, I was critical of the 2020 until you were kind of like, oh no, like, give it a shot. And then when I tried it, I was like, okay, it's still not my favorite, but it was nowhere near as bad as what I was told it was.
Right. And that's the thing. And I've got another friend that I've told him, I said, look, man, you need to read it. He's a diehard 95 guy, and then the LSB's a second. And there for the longest, he said, I'll never pick up the 2020. I'll never read the 2020. But now he is. And Don Wilkins, who's one of the translators, he's actually in a couple of the Facebook groups, and he's a much smarter man than I am. And I've read some of his explanations and things, and I'm like, yeah, I trust him. He may not be as popular as, say, William Varner, who's in the LSB group, and everybody knows who William Varner is because of the MacArthur link, and all that. But I'm like, well, Wilkins is just as respected, in my opinion, as Varner is. So
Wilkins was on the 95 committee as well, right? Like,
yep.
I remember seeing that video with him and Dan Wallace and James White, and then the KJV only guys on John Ankerberg. Have you ever watched that before?
I haven't.
Wilkins was on that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a brilliant man. So, but no, I like the 2020. It keeps a lot of the things that the 95 does, and it smooths out in some places. So yeah, it's just a good read. I think people should read it for themselves before they just do the knee jerk reaction and say, no, this is a terrible translation.
I do have an opinion or a kind of an analysis as to why people respond the way they do, and it has to do with the specific demographics of certain translations. Because NASB people tend to be people, obviously they want something literal. And what kind of people want a more literal translation? People who they tend to be more conservative in general. That would be a general. So conservative people tend to not love change. They're kind of wired that way a little bit. So I think that's some of the explanation. You notice nobody like complains about the NLT updates. People don't even know they've made updates, but they've made just as many updates as the ESV. Nobody cares. Is this a different user base?
It is. And it's funny too. They would also be the same kind of people that would probably be critical to the KJV only list that's coming to Colton for choosing the new king. And I'm like, well, you're not really acting that much different. Because you're basically acting like a 95 onlyist, even though you may not be.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, that's kind of why I said there's diehard people for every translation. So they may not use the term onlyist because like they don't go quite that far, but some people do border it because like I'll be honest, like it's hard to shift me away from the 95. Like I do use other translations, but
Nicholas struggles with being a 95 onlyist. He struggles with it.
yeah. I mean, if you're not reading 95, like you're just not saved.
yeah,
Like, I don't make the rules. Like the Apostle Paul used the 95, so
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's funny. But no, yeah, it's definitely a tendency with, again, and it does tend to be conservative people, and it has to do with their philosophy of Bible translation. You know, they want something that they really believe is the most accurate thing. And so once they're convinced that that's the most accurate, then any changes to that to them is a downgrade. But what's so hard to convince them of. So I'm really glad to hear you say this, Coby, that you like
Yeah,
the
because I'm
2020.
conservative.
I know you are, and I am too. But I'm open to change because language does change. Language changes, and it's really hard for conservatives will always come back and say it doesn't change that fast. Well, yeah, you don't notice because you were born at a time and you continue to live with the knowledge you have. But ask a young person how they talk, and they're going to have some vocabulary that's different from yours.
don't even ask me how young people talk.
Oh, I know.
No
I hear
cap,
them at
bro.
church
No
sometimes,
cap.
and I'm like, I need an Urban Dictionary with me at all times. I don't know what y'all are even saying.
Yeah.
Was that even English?
Yeah. And I don't think we need, like, obviously, I'm not advocating for Bibles to use highly colloquial, young person language. But
No.
that being said, there are words that when we were young, I give the example of the word awesome. I was born at a time when awesome could theoretically still carry a weight of greatness. It's gone now. You just can't say awesome in general and people take it seriously.
I think Nicholas just saw the same thing I saw.
Yeah. Gabe, one of my co-hosts, just introduced us to a new word, Tim. But I'll spare your audience from it.
Why it's not on here? Oh, it's on your channel.
No, I think it's on yours.
Oh, I just didn't come down to it.
Yeah. That's what I say. Good build of
Is it something we're allowed to say?
Well, yeah, it's
It's a story about Muhammad. That's
yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
Let's just say
And
one.
the men of Al Zut.
Yeah, let's just say one
I
night
just saw that.
went out into the desert to have a rendezvous with 30 naked men.
Okay. Now that has nothing to do with like
Hey,
young person language.
Gabe just wanted you to know it's in the Urban Dictionary. Not my Tim. But with a good few comments we missed here, so
I realize now that I was missing comments.
yeah.
I saw a good one. The OGMP, what he's using for his reading plan.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I did want to bring that up.
Yeah, I actually have one of those Bibles.
Everyday Gospel Bible from Crossway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with that. That sounds cool though.
It's like the Paul David Tripp like devotional.
Oh, okay.
But like put with the scriptures along with it.
In the ESV, of course.
Yeah.
If it's from Crossway. I'm going to ask each of these guys to tell us maybe if there's like a top Bible or 2 or 3 of this year that they like.
There it is.
Oh, that's really nice.
Oh,
so what does the inside look like? Is it a single column?
No, it's a 2-column paragraph format.
I actually would have guessed that was single, so that's why I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's 2-column paragraph format.
Ooh, how's the paper? It's invisible. Wow, talk about see-through paper.
It's the virtual background. I could turn it off, but the background behind me is my wife's side of the office that we share, and you'll see crochet and yarn and.
That's not your actual library there.
No. Mine's much larger.
You didn't want to brag, so you use
No.
like a smaller library graphic.
Yeah.
I get it.
So no, it's a decent paper. I'd say it's probably 28 to 30 GSM, maybe even a little bit higher. The very
Okay.
minimal ghosting. So
Oh,
probably about
nice.
an 8-point font. But it's a nice Bible. It's worth picking up. I don't know if they'll do it again this year, but I actually last year Crossway put these on sale at the beginning of the year, where you buy one genuine leather, you get one free. If you're a Crossway Plus member. So I got a really good. I bought one for me and one for my wife. So
I always keep forgetting about Crossway's membership thing. Like, so many people keep mentioning all the day. Oh,
It's
with Colton.
free. You got to join, man. It's free. Where Colton go?
I don't know if he meant to leave. We'll bring him back if he gets back here.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry, guys. Just had to go turn my heater off. It's getting toasty in here.
That's okay. There might be a point where each of us has to step out or something.
Oh, yeah,
during a live stream this long. Oh, by the way, I didn't actually talk to our friends today about how long they're going to stay. I mean, you're welcome to stay the whole time, but you're not obligated to.
Yeah.
Either you, Colton, or Coby. Nicholas has to stay the whole time.
I'm going to step out like just at 9. Like
Oh, yeah.
9. Just
11.
leave you in suspense.
That would really be a letdown. That's like half the reason we're here. Snowing like
I'm gonna
crazy.
disappear
Where's
and take
that?
my shirt off and leave it on my chair, and then make y'all think y'all were left behind.
Oh, there you go. I'd be the only one worried.
That's true. That's true.
I think I'm more just be confused.
Well, at least if you're left behind, you don't have to be tormented forever, right? You just burn up,
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Think of how confusing that would be, though. The guy who's, what are you? A millennial?
Me
Me?
or Coby?
Coby.
Post.
The post millennial gets raptured. That'd be hilarious if God took all the post millennialists.
I'm the only all-mill here then.
Anyway, Gabriel said it's snowing like crazy. So where is he? Is that another Michigander?
Gabe's going to kill me because I can't remember where he's from, but at the same time, I don't want to dox him. So
no, that's okay. He doesn't have to tell us.
he
wants
probably
to.
will. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He told us it's Ohio.
There you go. See, this happens to me all the time. I know, especially on X, I know a lot of people's names behind the scenes, so like not their usernames, but their actual names. I still purposely refer to them by their usernames just in case I ever accidentally like expose who they are, so
Yeah.
that's why whenever someone asks me where's someone from, I'm like, I don't know. I don't retain that type of information.
Yeah. Well, and being in Ireland, you may not remember all the places. So he says, I guess he's saying Ohio is the Holy Land. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it's it's part of the Bible Belt, maybe.
No.
Is it?
No.
No.
It's up north.
Yeah, doesn't count.
He's a Yankee like you, Tim.
That's right.
Hey, let me tell you, compared to where I am, that is more Bible Belt than where I am.
That's fair.
Yeah, you guys.
You see Hope Family's comment about Crossway.
Uh-oh.
He's a big fan of them. He loves all their stuff.
Membership pretty much just lowers the prices to barely competitive.
It really does.
Hey.
But you sign up for it for the like they're getting ready to have their ebook sale where you can get ebooks for like dirt cheap. That's why you do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually give a shout out to Crossway. Just got these for our church. I got like 10 of them just so we could hand them out. People need a Bible. And these were on christianbook.com for like a little over $12 a Bible. And it's a
christianbook.com.
Exactly. Yeah, but still that counts. And it's a large print thin line. Really nice.
Yeah, Hope Family is he is very critical of Crossway. He's become a friend of mine. And he when I reviewed the new Veritas, I mean, I was oohing and ahhing over it, that full Yap edition. Yes, he's very cross with Crossway. I was oohing and awing over it in that video. I was like, this thing is beautiful and all that. And he he messages me. He's like, you were way too nice to them for that much money. He's like that, like, and the part of it is he's a rebinder, right? So he sees really nice leather. He sees what goes into good work and the prices that are charged. And he was just like, no.
I want to.
I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of with him. Like, I honestly do think Crossway's stuff is. It's all right.
Yeah.
I've got some Lockman Prime editions that I would put up against the Crossway stuff, and they were done in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Crossway. I've always liked their stuff, so I don't have, maybe I'm just blind to something because I love the ESV so much. But yeah, I'm just
Well, I think part of it is too. I think a lot of people have been duped by the marketing.
yeah.
I mean, Crossway does have good stuff. I'm not saying that they have great resources and all that, but it is the elect standard version. For
Yep.
and all the PCA, just about, I'd say probably 95% of the PCA probably uses it. And, I can't get away from it, but, I mean, like I say, it's a good translation, but I'm a little frustrated with this update, because it's like, dude, you're updating from what you just updated from. What are y'all even doing?
Preach.
So anyway,
And I love Crossway, but yes, agree.
but yeah, and their premium stuff. I mean, they finally made good ribbons, but then okay, we're going to make them wider, but for the width, we're going to take away some length. I mean, can you not get it right? I mean,
Yeah, but I hear you, and I do think when you compare, especially the feedback that a lot of
all ribbons.
Yep.
See?
when you listen
All
to
wide.
the feedback that a lot of people online and a lot of reviewers give, I do think Crossway has not always quickly responded to some of the requests, but I think what we forget is like a lot of us handle a lot of Bibles.
Yeah.
I've noticed though that like people in my church, if they haven't handled a lot of Bibles, they just don't have the same perception we do. So if they go to the bookstore and they see the Bibles that are there, they're just kind of looking at what strikes their eye. And then if they open the Bible, they're just kind of seeing, what does it look like? How does it sound? And honestly, Crossway really hits the mark for a lot of people. It's really interesting. Just kind of the average person out there. It's amazing how much they resonate with people.
I'm the odd man out on the ribbon length thing. I actually don't like really long ribbons. I was happy like with the new Veritas. They were the perfect length in my opinion, but that's for me. Yeah, see, that's because I don't.
Coby, we're gonna have a fight here.
Well, I'm thinking practically. When I use a Bible, I don't want to be fighting the ribbons or having them drooping down or getting caught up in stuff. So I like that they're short. The purpose of it to me, as long as I can slide it to the edge and turn the page open, that's all I need.
But you don't want to slide it having to hold it with your fingernails.
Well, that's not quite that bad.
Well, I haven't seen one of those in person because my channel's not good enough to meet their criteria to get anything.
Well, you got to butter them up a little bit, Coby. You can't put them down and then.
Look, if I ever get to them and they send me one, they're going to get a fair and honest review.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
Do you know something though? But sometimes I think they actually like respect that though, because there's an awful lot of channels out there that will talk about a fair and unbiased review, and it's anything but.
Yep.
But, I saw somebody doing that with the Veritas, and he was talking about, oh, look how great these corners are, and I'm like, who did that? Stevie Wonder? That corner's awful.
Yeah. No, they do respect it, and most publishers do. Like they mean it when they send you stuff. I did that once with Thomas Nelson. I got a Bible from them. I had no idea what it was. They just kind of send you a list of stuff you can get, and it was called the Breathe Life Bible. I had no idea what it was. Well, when I got it, it was the most like woke thing I've ever seen. I mean, it was like all about the whole Breathe Life thing was based on some stuff with George Floyd, and like it was just. And so I emailed them. I was like, look, if
you're going to get a bad review.
Yeah, I'm like, if I review this Bible, I'm going to be honest about how I feel about the content. and I'm not a fan. And they said, please be honest, do it. We don't, and they have not stopped sending me Bibles. So they mean it. They want the feedback.
I love that. That's what I was laughing at.
6 foot ribbons.
Do it, and he'll give you a very bad review.
That's right. And then I'll get some.
I'll give you a good review.
And then I'll get some scissors and a lighter and fix it.
There you go.
Now, I do have a question over in my channel here, and it says, this is from Orthodox Philip. Question for the team. Which Bible translation has the most references in the column/margins? I'm looking particularly to track down Old Testament references in the New Testament.
I think it would be pretty hard to beat the NASB 95 and the New King James. Both of those are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to recommend either LSB, either the 95 or 2020. They both have great.
Yeah.
And the New King. Yeah.
Now, I'm not a hardcore cross-reference user. I do use them some. But what I would say, which is only going to complicate the topic, is that more references doesn't necessarily mean better references. Sometimes you can have cross-references that when you look them up, it's a little bit of a stretch. And so just because you have a lot. Now, I'm not saying that about the NASB. I would think they would be quite good. But I will say I was looking at something. This is kind of interesting, studying for a passage at Christmas time. And I have an old NKJV, like a 1980s edition, and it had a cross-reference that I've never seen in any of the other Bibles that I've looked at. And it's because it was cross-referencing something that I'm going to try not to get too into the weeds here, but basically it's just a connection that used to be seen as a connection, but now it's not popular to see that as a connection, if that makes sense. It's where it says that Jesus would be called a Nazarene.
Yeah, but I'm asking, was it a Thomas Nelson?
It was Thomas Nelson.
Oh, okay.
What I'm getting at with this is actually in that case, I found that to be very helpful. It actually put me on track of something that I was Say that again?
No, I hear him just fine.
It might just be your connection getting a little rough.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it might be on my end. Apologies.
That's okay. But anyway, it was neat. But that kind of shows you that I would have never seen that depending on what Bible I'm using. I would have never noticed that connection and learned about that specific connection that some interpreters have made. But I have noticed in some Bibles, I can't think offhand, but I have noticed sometimes where I'm like, this cross-reference is just not helpful. This is not helpful. Just because you have a bunch of cross-references doesn't mean they're good ones. So that's a little 2 cents I want to throw in there.
Yeah. I think, though, because we mainly named translations, though, but I think he's looking like an actual Bible, and I think Hope Family Boundary nailed it. CSB Connecting Scripture is probably a good one. And also...
I've heard good things about that, yeah.
Yeah. Also, Thompson Chain.
Yep. As far as topic references, it can be good. That can be a little hard to follow for some people, but once you get used to it, that's a good one. Yep.
And I heard that the CSB is supposed to come out with the Old Testament early next year. So I don't know when.
Yeah, the Old Testament.
Got my hands on one
connecting
of those
Scripture. Yeah, using the Old Testament. Wow, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
So, but if he wants a specific, I like the. If he wants to go with the New American, he can either get the 95 or 2020. I like the side column reference. I think that's a good one. Art Rebinds has got mine right now, my 2020 side column. But it's a good one. And then their large print ultra thin is good too, because your references are in the center and it's just a good portable size Bible. So I'm going to be asking you guys, now that Nicholas just kind of stepped out here, I wanted to ask you guys if you had some like Bible of the year. Oh, now we lost Colton. So I guess you and me,
Everybody.
Oh,
Oh, here we go. Is he back?
they're popping back.
Maybe they got cut off.
I don't know.
Huh.
I wonder if there's a lot of people doing live and maybe their server, the EV Muck server.
Wow. All I said was I was going to have them pick like a Bible of the year, and they just were out of here as soon as I even started to bring up the topic.
Bible? No.
I'm sure that Colton would be happy to answer this.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. All right. I'm getting a message. So is that from one of the guys here? No. Not from one of them. Wow. Well, they'll message me if it was some sort of a technical difficulty. That's kind of weird. While we're waiting on them, though, do you want to tell me any Bibles? I know you NASB Bibles get sent to you, right? Some
They actually do. I will. Lockman has been great. One of their guys reached out to me and said that, hey, we enjoy your channel, enjoy what you do. I like that they don't go to your larger channels, because when they first reached out to me, I wasn't even at 500 subscribers. So I'll forever be grateful to Lockman. Now, that being said, if they send me a Bible and I don't like it, I mean, I'm not going to just, gas them up just because, they've been good to my channel. If I don't like it, I'll still say I don't like it.
If they send you short ribbons, you're still going to complain.
Oh, absolutely. I'll complain.
We got you back, Colton. What happened?
Dude, I have no idea.
Uh-oh, that probably means Nicholas had the same thing happen.
Yeah. But I actually, I was looking at your email beforehand, and I got my little stack over here. I'm not going to show them because you can't really see them. But the Bibles that I've really enjoyed this year is the New American Standard Large Print Compact. I got it in a leather text, and I ended up getting a prime edition from someone resale. I got a good deal on it. And then the LSB handy size ICR, because to me, I like the ICR, but it's a desk Bible because the font is so big and it's such a big, bulky Bible. Them making it into a handy size to me was just, that's great.
Yeah.
And then the New American Standard LPUT, the large print ultra thin, I got one of those in a prime edition. So yeah, you're noticing it here. I really like the paper. To me, the Korean paper is some of the best paper there is right now.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Totally.
I've got some good Bibles here. I've got a lot of. I've been blessed to get some. I've got some Cambridge. I've got some Crossway premiums. I've got Scholar. But to me, that Korean paper is just something about it. And it doesn't matter. Like my two compact editions, I could, if someone here, if someone in the chat if I could hand it to them virtually and say, here, look at both of them, the paper quality is the same. I mean, it's just great paper. It's just, you're paying for the cover and the gilding, but they, right. And Lockman, Colton has said this too about Lockman. I know we were joking about ribbons, but their ribbon game, they know what's up. Them and Thomas Nelson, good, nice, wide, double-sided satin ribbons. Yeah. And this is like a $30 Bible.
I agree. So, I don't know why Crossway specifically struggles with ribbons, because Nelson and Lockman they're totally different publishers. And yet they're able to accomplish that very consistently. All right, I think we finally got Nicholas back. You're back. I was going to tell you, Nicholas, you only had 17 minutes before you need to be back.
Bro, I was sitting in the background, could hear everything. Not one of you guys could hear me.
And I can't stop. I can't do what I do in exit for all of us, because that would throw off the live stream.
I don't know what happened. I turned my other monitor on to hear. I know Colton was out for a period of time there too. It just turned into robotic voices and skipping and jumping, and
it's probably all I don't know, something to do with the internet and New Year's or something.
To be honest, I was going to say like midnight around here anyway. The internet service is probably going to get a bit sketchy. So if I dip out again, you may be celebrating New Year's by yourself.
Just as we hit New Year's, his connection cuts out. Like, oh no! That's a foreboding sign for 2026.
Oh, we've only 15 minutes, lads. So
that's right. Well, we're Coby gave us some really good.
Yeah, I have one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not a full Bible, but the LSB, this little gem.
Gospel of John.
Yep, the Gospel Truth According to John. This is something that you can take out with you. It's got the full Gospel of John, but it also has a plan of salvation. It's basically a tract. So these are great. But yeah,
that's awesome. So you took some of the ones I was going to mention, and I'll still mention them because I think it's cool that they're, when certain Bibles stand out, I think a lot of the reviewers agree, and totally agree with you on the Korean paper. Lockman is just hitting it out of the park with wherever, and the LSB too, Steadfast Bibles, wherever they're sourcing that paper, it's fantastic at a good price. It really is special. Colton, do you have like a Bible or Bibles of the year that you want to highlight?
Sure. First, I want to say in regard to Hope Family Bindery's comment about braided steel strap for the ribbons.
I love it.
I'm a Texas boy and I own a pair of bolt cutters, man. I'll get it done. It's still going to happen. So, anyway.
This is the comment. I didn't catch for Colton 6. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I can still get it done, bro. I can still trim them.
Be altered.
So yeah,
I'm going to step off screen, but I can still hear. I got my AirPods. I'm going to get ready for Nicholas's Happy New Year here.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so I think there's several that I liked this year that came out, and I also want to shout out Lockman. They're kind of an underdog, and they're doing really, really good work, even on their non-premiums that I've gotten. So, I'm going to give a shout out to the NASB 2020 Reader's Bible that came out. It was really nice. I actually gave it away as a Christmas gift this year. But really, really beautiful layout, great paper, as you guys have already said. Loved it. The new Veritas from Crossway is excellent. It's the same block as the Heritage, but we were talking about this off stage, but adding those red accents to the chapter numbers and to the top, it really just made it pop really well. So I really enjoy the Veritas. I think it's beautiful. Great reader's Bible just for daily reading. It's so nice. And probably my number one is the one I reviewed most recently, but it's see if I can get it. Yeah, so this is the NKJV from Thomas Nelson. It's the single column verse by verse reference.
I'll let you hold up the and the inside there so people can see.
It is an awesome layout.
Oh, that's awesome.
See if it'll focus. It might not. It's being weird. But it's got the inside column references with a verse by verse layout, and has the red accents, red verse numbers, but it's a black letter text. For me, this is everything I want in a preaching Bible. The single column verse by verse format for me for preaching has been the best for me to be able to find my place easily. So this is I think a very good format for preachers and teachers, because it just makes it really easy to find your place. So there's three good ones from me.
And when you brought up that one at the end there, it makes me think of what Coby said too about the inside, if I can get it on the screen here, inside column reference from the LSB. Very similar. The thing about the LSB that I think it's like even a touch nicer for preaching is where the verses. Oh man, I can't show this very well. See where the verses are located?
Mm-hmm.
They're like on the outside there. Like no other publisher seems to do that. I love that.
These are kind of, I see what you're saying, because these are
Yeah.
like indented.
But they're red, so that's good.
Yeah, they're red. It's easier to find, but yeah, that format, man. And also, I didn't mention this, but it's probably, I know it's true of the LSB as well. The inside column references push the text out of the gutter, where you can read it a lot easier, where it doesn't get lost in the gutter of the page. And man, that's so nice.
Yeah, and it's got that Korean paper. So that's definitely probably my Bible of the year. That I out of all the Bibles that I've seen, not that I've reviewed a ton this year, but that one was really a standout. But I'll tell you, LSB almost always impresses me.
Tim, just so you know, Coby's back.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Coby. I meant to have you. See, I can see him on my my lineup screen, so I thought he was there. Thank you, Nicholas.
Yeah,
you're out of the penalty box. You're back with us now.
Yeah.
The LSB, they do a great job with their stuff. I have the handy size and the hardcover from like when it first came out, and the paper in that is from Youngblood. It's from the Netherlands.
Yeah. I have that too.
In a hardback.
And that's really good. Yeah, that's a really heavy Bible.
Yeah, it's nice.
That is super nice. And I think at the time they were selling it, pre-ordering for like $100. It was like, how in the world did they sell this for $100? Because it's worth easily $200. Unbelievable.
Are you talking about the hardback?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was talking about. You're right. I when I heard you say hardback, what I had in my head was, I have the Italian cowhide.
Oh, yeah.
No, the hardback's not worth $100.
No,
although I'd still say it's worth $30, $40.
Well,
with the quality paper.
Oh yeah, I think I paid $35 for my hardback, but what made that such a great value was the paper. That it was that Youngblood paper. This is really good.
Easily worth that. Just for the hardback edition. But I think that their cowhide was worth well over $100. And yet at the time they were selling it, and I'm sure it was partly to get it out there in people's hands. But they had a great price on it. Anyway, I'm almost always really impressed, but the LSB is not my main translation. So it's one of those funny things where you can have a translation that puts the editions you like out the most, like you like those editions the most, but it's not necessarily your number one translation. Whereas the one I'm currently using a lot right now for church is the ESV. And I do like some of their editions. I do like the Veritas a lot. I'm with you on that. That's a really good one. But the one I use the most is the large print thin line, not the large print thin line reference, because that's actually a little bit more of a taller Bible. But just the large print thin line ESV, it's like a 5.5 by 8.5 Bible, but it still has 10-point font. So I love that particular edition. So yeah, how about you, Nicholas? I know you're not really reviewing Bibles, but any Bible you want to highlight today?
No, brothers. I really stick to my. Actually, I wonder, is it on hand? No, it's out of the way. I have an R.L. Allen NASB that I use.
Can imagine that's going to be one of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one. It's treated, even though like R.L. Allen's like made over here, not in Ireland, but like the UK, obviously. It's known as the unicorn over here because it's very hard to get now, and they don't make them anymore. So I never thought I would get one, but a friend, maybe 5 years ago, randomly messaged me back when I had my Bible review channel, and he was like, "Hey, look, I'm not using this. Do you want it?" I was like, "Yes." So I wanted to know how much you wanted for it. He was like, "No, take it." And I was like, "Really?" So no, that's the main Bible I use. Apart from that, I haven't really been in the Bible scene, guys. Like, I don't really know what's out. Or I'll tell you one that I was excited about was the KJV that Randy Brown was working on.
The Reader's Edition. Yeah, and I haven't put that on my channel for review yet. I have a copy, so I'm gonna get a review of it done. It had a couple of things that I think need to be tweaked as far as just the production quality of it. So I'll try to mention that in my review. And I think Randy's already aware because of feedback from others. It didn't turn out 100% perfect. And it's interesting. Yeah, Hope Family has a comment about Royal Youngblood, which they are the ones who produced that particular Bible as far as the binding and everything.
Yep.
And you're right. They do have a variety of price ranges on things that they do. That is true. But as far as that LSB first edition, that was some high quality paper from Royal Youngblood. But I also want to answer this question. Sorry to block you off there, Nicholas.
Don't really care.
Just make sure this is not on when we hit the new year. Any good Bible that includes the Deuterocanonical that you'd recommend? So my answer to that would be one, Thomas Nelson's. They have a Premier collection. I don't know if it's still in print. It might not be, but I think you could still get it pretty easily. It's the Premier Collection NRSV, and that is like a really well done Bible. That's really nice. It's the Premier Collection, but it's pretty affordable. Actually, no, it's not Nelson. It's Zondervan. It's Zondervan, but it's still that Premier Collection. And then the other one is, Schuyler has started producing some of their Bibles with the Deuterocanonical books.
Yeah, they have.
Such as the RSV, but even the ESV. I think if you go on their website right now, evangelicalbible.com, you might find some ESVs that have those books in them. Yeah. So those are some recommendations.
I know Cambridge does as well.
Yeah.
ESV diadem. Beautiful.
Yeah, the diadem. Yeah.
That's true. Yep, that's a good recommendation too.
That's premium to Gabe, so like that comes in calfskin. But if you just want like a fairly decent hardback cover, the Cambridge diadem also comes in a hardback cover. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say, and it's still a really good, well constructed Bible. So
your paper's great on it too, actually.
Yep.
I so often forget about Cambridge these days, and I think part of that is, I get so like kind of focused on the Bibles that I'm used to getting, and also like Schuyler. It's just very much on my radar. Cambridge Bibles, they're such an interesting publisher. I love their history, and I love some of their editions. But this is just, I'm just being very honest here. There is a part of me that I feel like Cambridge has gotten kind of connected with things that I just personally don't agree. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And that's just hard for me.
Yes.
That's tough.
Yeah,
a lot of though.
That's a shame because the Topaz is a great block. It's one of my favorite all-time blocks.
I'm a Clarion fanboy. I love the Clarion.
I like
That
the
is
Clarion
a great Bible. That's a good Bible.
Yeah.
That is so unique.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe when you read a Clarion that size font is an 8. I think it's an 8.5. It reads so much better than an 8.5 somehow. It's unbelievable. And talk about lots of cross references, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, Cambridge Clarion, but they don't have one with the Deuterocanonical
not in the Clarion. No. I think the diadem is the only one I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Makes sense because the diadem is a double column and you can fit a lot in there.
I don't know.
And you can get the hardback. Yep.
Sorry, go ahead, Kobe.
I was just going to say, you can get the hardback off Amazon for, I think, like maybe $35-$40, something like that.
That's true. Yep. That's true.
Yep.
Were you going to say something, Nicholas?
Yeah, I was just going to say to Gabe, Orthodox Philip over in my channels left him a comment as well if he wants to pick up any of those as well. So,
and Gabe just said he likes the NRSV. So yeah, I think that the Zondervan is the way to go if that is a translation you like. like I said, they have some really good options, and Zondervan is always very affordable too.
Now,
Hey,
Orthodox Philip
you're on
also says, does anyone have the ESV with Apocrypha from Anglican House? Don't know it.
I've heard of it. I think I've heard of that one, but I don't have one. Maybe if I did, we'd have some Anglicans here, right? If I showed the Anglican House Bible, the Anglicans would start coming in
Mm-hmm.
like they do for Colton.
I don't know why they want to hang out with a Baptist, but hey, I'm happy they do.
Yeah.
I'm a Baptist.
Yeah, no,
Anglicans, where are you? I had a debate against an Anglican, though, right, Nicholas?
You did, yeah. Well, boys, Happy New Year.
Happy
Yay!
New Year.
We didn't even
Here.
count down. It just crept up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Can you hear?
Happy 7 o'clock here.
I had to go get a adult beverage to properly
Nice.
bring in the new year with Nicholas there.
Can you guys hear the snow?
Yeah, I can hear it.
What is it?
Oh, yes, and popping.
Fireworks.
Oh, that's
The Irish
cool.
celebrating.
Proof that
Yeah.
you are in Ireland.
They're just celebrating for me on stream. Thanks, lads.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'll have a lot of fireworks in my neighborhood too. I live in a very there's a lot of Hispanics where I live, and they shoot off fireworks for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. They'll shoot them off for New Year's too, I'm sure. So
that's awesome. Yeah. We got Tony there. Happy New Year. Want to know he's also in the time zone that Nicholas is in. So awesome. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Tony. Is Tony still in the chat?
Yeah, I think he just put that.
Popped up, yeah.
Happy New Year.
Our token Wesleyan is still here.
Look, the Presbyterian is drinking out of a Doctrine and Devotion glass.
Yes.
Ooh, nice,
yes.
nice.
Doc and Devo.
Yeah, I do miss them. So,
yeah.
So, how's 2026 looking over there, Nicholas?
Dark and lots of sparkle.
Oh, you scared me for the dark part. Was a little worrying, and it looks dark.
Yeah, remember the Left Behind?
Yeah. So what's it like being in the past, gentlemen?
We're still last year for you, right?
Yeah. You're so last year, guys. Come on.
I know. We're behind the times, right?
Well, Colton's the worst. What is it now? Colton 6?
Yeah.
6 o'clock, yeah.
Colton's really behind the times.
We've got another half a day to go.
Yeah, no.
Do you guys do anything big for New Year's, or is it just chill?
Sleep.
People do. Like,
Yeah,
people around, there's like big stuff going on in our town, but I get so tired these days. I like going to bed.
Yeah.
But that being said, my family is doing stuff tonight, and so after this stream, I might go join them. I probably should, even though that means I'll have to go out in the cold. Didn't I see someone saying, "Oh yeah, over in Ohio it's snowing"? I think we're actually getting that storm coming up tonight. Yeah, so it's going to be some bad weather. How about you guys? What's the weather like where you are?
I mean,
it's cold where I'm at.
It's like in the 40s here.
So for you, bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. Okay.
No.
I'm gonna check my temperature here.
It's like 39 where I'm at. So yeah.
Yeah, currently we're at 22 degrees, and that's actually warmed up. Yesterday was colder. Cold with a little snow up in Michigan, I think. Hope Family Bindery is saying.
Michigan.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about our favorite Bibles for this year. The other topic that I wanted to ask about was Colton. You guys have to have two C names. Colton. It's like I'm talking to my kids and I can't get the right name out of my mouth. Colton announced on his channel that he is now for his preaching Bible using the New King James for all your preaching, like for all the years you've preached. It's always been the ESV. and now you've
Yep.
switched to the NKJV. So this is a big
Yep.
change.
He has betrayed all the ESV users.
He's betrayed all of them.
Yeah.
Is it
Crossway
because Crossway ribbons weren't long enough?
No.
Oh no, that's right. You don't care.
No, don't.
You
Yeah.
don't care. It's definitely not that.
No,
He's a
not at
heretic.
all. Yeah, not at all. It's been a long time coming. I read through the New King James the first time a couple of years ago, and really fell in love with it, and have been contemplating ever since. There's a lot of reasons why, but so some of the biggest ones for me, and I mentioned these in my video about it, but text stability is a big part of it, and because of the frequent updates from Crossway, that has kind of played a part. And I'm not trying to say that I'm against updates. Okay, I'm not even like a TR like only guy or anything like that. Never have been, never will be. But the last update, I'm just going to be honest, the 2025 update really just annoyed me. And it wasn't because I think the updates are bad, but the way Crossway has been doing updates so frequently has been annoying. And the especially the whole Genesis 3 debacle of changing it in the 2016 to your desire shall be contrary, and then changing it back now in 2025 to the way every Bible reads, basically. I'm just like, why are we playing this game? So the text stability, just being able to have a text that it's not moving anytime soon, is really important to me as a teacher. But then there are also translation choices and textual things that are important to me as well. So one of them is the use of the word begotten in John's gospel for monogenes is important to me. It's become more important to me over the years as I've dug deeper into Trinitarian theology. And that's why, there's a great video that James Hamilton from Southern Seminary did on the Room for Nuance podcast, where he talks about, in his opinion, that Crossway can't, that all Bible translations can't get back to begotten fast enough in his mind. And he's a sharp guy, but what is implied there with monogenes as begotten, not just one and only, is communicating what's there, that Jesus is of the same essence as the Father, from the Father, and yet he is distinct in a person, right? And so it's really important in what it communicates, and it's not to mention all the history behind the creeds and confessions that use that term for that reason. So that was a big part of it. And then just to be honest, what made it easy is a lot of folks in my church already use the New King James. They've been using it for all this time. I would actually say it's probably, as I'm thinking about it and what I know my people are reading, probably there's fewer that read the ESV than read the New King James in my church. So it was honestly kind of a no-brainer in a lot of ways. It just was a personal thing for me to get over. And this is in no way saying that I don't use the ESV at all anymore. I love it. Always will love it. It'll always have a place. But yeah, those just a few of the reasons why.
Well, you just made a big fan out of the Orthodox fellow.
Oh, right on.
He's a good dude, by the way. You'll really enjoy him.
Yeah. Right
so I know what kind of feedback you got from KJV only people, but I'm curious to hear what was the pushback from the critical text people.
Oh yeah. There was lots. Particularly some attacking the point of begotten, going to the Greek words and stuff and saying it's not, and I'm like, well, actually the roots of that word of monogenes are more complicated than just parsing it out into two separate things. So that was part of it, but also just the idea that the TR is inferior and that it's based on inferior manuscripts and all that, and it's like, I mean, that's not a new debate. There's tons of videos from all kinds of people talking about this stuff that I've consumed, and I don't necessarily feel the need to repeat. But it's like the Byzantine priority position, or the majority text position, or the TR position, or the whatever. It just kind of creates these different sects, and at the end of the day, what I like about the New King James and in reference to all that is it gives you that information in the footnotes, in the textual notes. It's there. So like, it's not trying to hide that maybe this reading is different in the critical text. It'll tell you. It omits stuff. It'll tell you where the TR departs from the majority text. It tells you all that stuff. And so I really appreciate the transparency of it. It gives you all the things, So, but yeah, most of the pushback was like, you're essentially trading a good translation because of people would say the ESV is better because of the antiquity of the manuscripts behind it versus the majority or the Byzantine stuff. So that really the main reason, I think, just came down to, you're using a Bible that now has things in it that we don't think are actually scripture.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. That's what I would have thought. You would be getting for pushback. Yeah. Now, Nicholas. I mean, I'll let him speak for himself. I mean, he's also kind of entered into a little bit of a in between phase with translation, where I mean, he's always loved the NASB, but I know recently he's been drawn more to the NKJV himself, right, Nicholas?
Yeah, but
yes and no.
more KJV, NKJV, yes, but KJV definitely. And for similar reasons to Colton, there's a lot of stuff I've been studying, especially with things like with the Comma Johanneum. Looking back into church history, seeing how early that it is quoted by some of the church fathers and things like that, I'm looking at it and going, you know what, I don't want to throw this out of my Bible. So yeah, I think in a lot of ways, the older I'm getting, the more conservative I'm becoming, and part of that kind of falls into going back to older translations. So similar to Colton.
When Nicholas gets into his 40s, he'll be a Geneva Bible user.
It's right here, bro. It's right here.
But Coby's our modern guy. He likes the NASB 2020.
I do. I don't know if that makes me modern. I mean, so because it is still the NASB. But what I do appreciate about them is the like you guys are talking about the updates. You went from 77 to 1995, and then 1995 to 2020. So they're not doing it at the drop of a hat. And whereas the ESV was the 2001, 2007, 2011, 2016, now the 2025.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already done 5 in the same amount of time that Lockman's done 1. For between the 95 and the 2020. So it's and the waffling, this is a good way, but no, we're going to change it. Well, let's go back to the original. Yeah, just make up your mind, So.
Yeah, I think that was the one that definitely got the most attention. Although I will say this is a really interesting thing. In Genesis 4, where Cain is being spoken to, the Lord is speaking to Cain, and it uses like the same exact phraseology about sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Its desire is for you, but you shall rule over it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that anybody would have cared about those changes. I really think it has a lot to do with that whole issue of man and woman. That specific issue is just a really hot button topic.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of attention that's brought to it. So I feel kind of bad for Crossway. I'm just going to be like a little bit on their side on some of this stuff. Not that I think they handled it perfectly, but I do think that it's a little unfortunate. Like, if it had been some other passage, I don't even know that anybody would have noticed. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, Genesis 4, people wouldn't have cared nearly as much, even though it's the exact same phraseology.
Yeah.
But because it's talking about man and woman, now they care a lot, and they were really bothered by the initial switch when they in 2016. So I think they felt the pressure in a way to switch back.
To me,
But now people are mad that they switched back.
The truth is, I don't care either way. I think that this might get me in trouble, but I think the 2016 rendering was fine.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
I'm just annoyed that they've gone through the whole rigmarole. That's what bothers me.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say too, that I feel bad for Crossway. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm not saying I'm like heartbroken, but I'm just saying I do have a little bit of a like, oh, I can understand their situation, because they actually also, I think, had pressure on one side to have a permanent text. And they said in 2016, okay, we'll do a permanent text. But why do you think that they decided not to keep that? I'm guaranteeing you there was pressure for them not to do that. They can't please everybody. And so they're going to make some people mad no matter what. It's really a tough thing. Here's the thing though, and I have Nicholas has to hear me say this all the time. The whole thing about updates is a really tricky thing. It's a really tricky thing. If you wait a long time, like the NASB did, you really run the risk of dividing your user base. You still see today people who are like, I am not using the 2020. I only use the 95. And so you have a divided user base. At least with the ESV, they've updated several times, but everybody uses the same ESV in a sense. Like they're not like dividing into groups of ESV users the way NASB does.
You would be surprised.
Well, there might be under the surface some of that going on, but not like the NASB.
I know lots of folks who are like 2011 ESV is the only one I'm going to read.
Even with the 2025 update?
Yep. They don't want to mess with it anymore.
Yeah, but why not the 2007? Why not the 2002?
I don't know. I can just tell
That's
you.
what I'm saying. It's crazy to me.
I can just tell you from anecdotal observation.
Yeah, you're right. I agree that there are
the 2011 seems to be the one that most people are like, yeah, I'm just going to stick with that.
I think some of this boils down to people's awareness. When they became aware that there were changes being made, because they didn't care when they were younger and they didn't know those changes were happening. And now that they've gotten more knowledgeable about it, it's a bigger deal to them. Anyway, here's the thing I was getting at, though. Like, if you wait to update, it's an even bigger deal. Even if it's a little bit of a deal, it's an even bigger deal if you wait. But if you never update, and this is where I get people who are conservative hate this. But if you never update, you can choose to go that route. You really can. But at some point, you do have this issue where you're kind of not able to make some of the tweaks that are beneficial. And not just with language change, it could even be just, okay, take the New King James Version. If you suggest today that we update that, you get a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
And I don't really care either way, but I would actually say if you had a group of scholars today who were very conservative and they went through and said, here are some, minor changes that we could make, it probably could be improved in the sense that there are some things that maybe we've learned in the last 40-something years that could make an improvement. The reason I say that is because why did we need the New King James in the first place? Not only because the language had changed, but there were some scholarship things that had changed from the year 1611 to the year 1970, whatever, when they started working on it. In other words, scholarship at some point can make some improvements on things in the sense of, incorporating new knowledge.
And that's opening a whole nother can of worms, though, because you're talking about now. Okay, because I'm not saying I'm this guy, but I'm saying these are the questions that people are going to have to that. They're going to say, okay, are you saying the church didn't have the scriptures?
I get that.
During
no,
that
I get
time?
that. But that's like saying, did the King James translators, were they the first ones to really give people God's word? Did the Geneva Bible people not really have the word of God?
No, they did. I get what you're saying.
I think there's an inconsistency there when
I
people
think,
argue.
Yeah, and again, I'm not that guy because
I
I understand, like, there are genuine distinctions that have to be made there. But I would also say, if we're talking about updating based purely on language change, I think
that's always a sticking point. Yeah, people don't like that.
I think the NKJV is still, it honestly, it doesn't read that much different than the ESV. And the reality, if you actually, and the KJV only people would hate this, but if you look at the NKJV as a genuine update to the KJV, you have how many years? 1769.
Okay, so let me
1769 Blaney revision to
let me speak to that a little bit.
1980, whatever.
Well, here's the problem: the 1611 edition wasn't completely maintained throughout the 1700s. They were willing to make updates in certain ways.
Yeah.
Why have we never been allowed to make an update since 1769 all the way until 1900 something? That to me is an indication that something happens with translations where they kind of calcify and people just don't want them changed. And I get that. I'm not even advocating that we change the New King James. I'll give you a really pinpointed example. If it was theoretically possible to only change one word in the New King James Version, and the word was awesome, we just change that to something that evokes a greater sense of fear that we actually hold to. I would argue that would be a better rendering. But
than using the word fear?
No, the word in the New King James is awesome. And I'm contending that has lost its sense of gravity in people's English today.
Really? So that's surprising to me.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's where it's a little tricky, because it sounds like to you can still hear that word and it still evokes gravity. But I think that if you were to write the word awesome in, like, if you were conversing with someone and said, I saw this amazing thing and it was awesome, I don't think they would have any sense of gravity. They would just be like, you were saying it was really cool. Does that make sense?
I think I hear you, but I think my pushback to that would be, just because we downplay certain words in our modern vernacular doesn't mean that we should, like, completely remove them, like, because, when we say something is awesome, and we're saying, because we also say things like, hey, I love cookies. Are we going to remove the word love, like, just because it gets used in that way? Like, I think awesome still has relevance. That's just me. And I get what you're saying, because if there's one word I could change in the New King James, I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, what is it?
It's booty. Booty.
Yeah, there you go.
They use that word to describe, like, treasure or plunder. They use that word. I don't like the use of that word, and if I were to preach a passage now using the New King James that had that, I would say this would be better understood as something like plunder, just to make that clear, because it's not as clear today. It sounds like a pirate thing to most people. It's just so.
Yeah.
So
yes, I agree. That's another good example. My point being that I'm not actually arguing that we change it. My point being, this is the real life conundrum that even that word awesome, I just looked it up in the LSB.
Yeah.
The LSB uses the word fearsome because awesome, they knew, was not a word that would carry the connotation that it used to. That's my contention. And I use that as one example, but you're right. Booty would be another good example. I think there are others too. My point being that if you could update the New King James and here and there put better words in there for today, it would actually it would legitimately be better, but people would not like it.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm trying to say.
You do know all of this though, but is primarily a problem in English. Like, not many other languages or cultures have this problem with their translations. Their translations don't get updated half as much because the language has not been changed as much. So I think what Colton was saying earlier about, we go back and we look at church history. We don't go back as far as the King James and go, right, that, well, there was the standard. Like, going back even further to that, like, let's go back even beyond the Latin Vulgate, right?
Yes.
I'm not advocating we go back to the Latin Vulgate. I think the Vulgate's a good translation. I don't think it's the translation. But the problem is we are now at a stage where whenever it comes to scholarship these days, I don't think, whenever you look now at the overall consensus of what scholarship's bringing in, if you look even at the last 10 years, there hasn't been that much difference of what has been discovered, or we found this, it completely changes what we always thought. So I think there has to come a point, even in the future too, because like someone's going to come out. I've had this question said to me before in a live stream as well. What happens if in 100 years time we find a complete testament of Matthew? I'll be like, okay, great. But what's that going to change? Because if we find a complete testament of Matthew and there's something in there that we don't have in our Bible, that means there was something missing for a large portion of church history. So I think that's what Colt was getting at. There comes a point where I think people just want to be stable and say, no, this is my text. This has been the text that the church has received. I'm going to work with it. And I think that's why you're seeing a lot more people now.
Right.
Not necessarily.
That's not linguistic. And that's my point. That's not linguistic. And to the point about other languages, I know Spanish has various updates. Spanish does, because their language also has changed over the years. I even know in Kenya, I have a Kenyan friend, and they're very limited in the amount of Bibles they have. They've had to update their translations. It's just true of language.
Of course it will. You will find that across all languages. That's not me saying this doesn't exist in any other language. I'm saying the problem, though, is the English-speaking world. We update way too rapidly.
I'm just saying, even in those cultures that I just mentioned, if you just took the same year span, because they did it in for the Kenyans, they have a 60s translation and they had to update it since the 60s. And now they have a newer one even that was done more recently. It's much better actually. And I guarantee you, even in those time spans, look at what happened with the NASB. Are there still people who want to use the NASB 77? Yes. That's my point. It doesn't matter how long you wait. You always, look, we have people telling us we should still be using the 1611 KJV. That just tells you at some point people just don't want to change. But I hear you. I'm not really disagreeing with you guys. I'm only saying that I think this is a conundrum that is just part of life.
Yeah.
And I tend to try to be as fair-minded as I can. And all I'm saying is, I use this example a lot too. Noah Webster in the 1830s looked at the King James. This is the 1830s, and he said it is outdated in its language. It needs to be updated. And literally, Noah Webster created an updated King James Bible, and that was in the early 1800s. It's just a reality that conservative people have a really hard time with.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
and I think we need to. It's true, and I totally get that. And I think we need to understand though that I think what Nick is saying and what I'm trying to say as well is we seem to have undervalued stability
Yeah,
in the
I get that.
text. And you can, language and stuff. Sure, we can talk about that, but
Yeah.
to me, and this is a thing that has developed in me. It's not necessarily how I've always felt, but I have come to value text stability more and more as the longer I've been a Christian. And it's not because I don't want to know the newest scholarship. I want to know it. I do want that information.
Yep.
But I think there's just as much, if not more, value in a text stability. And I'm not saying never, ever change it.
No, I get that.
I just think a stable text is important. And also, with that, I mean, I look at the ESV's latest update, okay? And I'm just going to tell you my opinion. The 2025 update. I look at that update, and I think to myself, guys, this could have all been footnotes. Every single thing could have been footnotes. And that's the people, I get that Crossway got a lot of flack for the permanent text edition and then going back on that. I feel like if Crossway would have just stuck to their guns and said, we're going to keep it the permanent text, but if there's things that come up that are important to footnote it, we'll add footnotes. I think that would have been a far more helpful thing to do. I think there would have been a lot more people less disgruntled with, because I know you can't please all the people all the time. That's just the reality. But if that
would have been best.
Yeah, they should have. The reality is if they called it the permanent text, I still have a ESV it's the interleaved ESV 2016 that says permanent text edition on it. And I wish they just would have stuck with that and footnoted these things.
Yeah. Because if you print out the list of the changes they made, it's not a lot. And like Colton said, I mean, you could have easily put that in the footnotes. You wouldn't have, your Bibles wouldn't have been any thicker, or anything like that, because it's not a ton of changes. That just would have made better sense.
It's just my opinion. I know that some people will disagree, but that's what I feel about it.
No, that's 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think we're all disagreeing. I think we're all just raising points that I think people need to come to a conclusion in their own head, because part of the reason why I brought up what I brought up is not just about the English-speaking world. We're at the forefront of it, I guess, because we've got so many translations that we can have in English. That's why you're seeing so many new translations, so many new updates. But I think what I'm going back to and what I want to be clear on is I don't want us to go back into, for example, the way the Roman Catholic Church had it, where there was one translation, but by the way it was locked down, the public couldn't have access to it. So I'm not saying I want to go back to that type of model. But what I am saying is, for the majority of church history, Christians worked with a certain set of manuscripts. There was no such thing. Well, there was translations, obviously, but what I mean is, there was no. The text was never changing constantly the way it is now. And I think, because again, you guys are all Bible reviewers. I'm sure you guys get this question a lot. I still get it on my channel to this day, and I'm not even reviewing Bible translations. One of the most common questions I get emailed about all the time is, hey, my niece has recently got baptized. My son-in-law has came to faith. where do I start with to get him a Bible translation? There's so many. I don't know what's a good one. I don't know if this one's, got this bias, the other bias. That is such a confusing place for a lot of Christians, to the point where even a lot of seasoned Christians like Colton, I would say, is an example of this. A lot of them now are just going to, I just give me one text. Just give me one text and let me live with it.
Yes.
I think that's what the appeal is for a lot of people at the moment. Is I think people are getting burned out on so many publishing companies constantly updating. And Tim, I know your opinion on this. I know, and I agree with you to a certain.
You are never allowed to change a Bible. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
You're never allowed to change a Bible without somebody getting angry.
Yeah.
Whether you do it 5-year span, whether you do it 50-year span, whether you do it in 400 years, people are going to get upset if you change it.
100%. And I think that goes to something deep within us, though, because again, I would never advocate for the fact that we shouldn't change a Bible, because let's say 50 years from now, and I'm not even talking about the text of scripture here, but they discover some previously unwritten rule about Greek grammar, and it completely opens up passages to us where, like, oh wow, the deity of Christ is even more clear now. Fantastic. That's an advancement in scholarship. But what I'm talking about is, even within this last 10 years, if you look at what has actually changed, like if you have, I don't know if any of you guys have them, I have some of them up here myself, Nestle Allen 28th edition, 29th edition, very little is being updated, because I would say we are at a point now where we know as much about the Greek language as we possibly can. So whenever we talk about scholarship on that end, I don't think there's much more to come. Yeah. So what else can we now see down the line? Are we that's the point I was making? Are we suddenly going to discover a whole Testament of Matthew where maybe it's got verses in it that we've never seen before? Because if that appears,
it's not going to be big things. What it could be, what it could be though is like a word here or there in the Old Testament that we just didn't know what that specific Hebrew word meant. And as they've, found more and more stuff over the years, and people, sometimes they actually do find, oh, okay, now we have a better knowledge of what that word is.
100%. And that's why that could be a footnote, though, because I don't think it's going to change enough.
I'll give you guys an example of a textual difference that really stunned me the first time I read it in the Old Testament. It was my first time reading through the CSB. And you get to the part where Samuel goes to hack Agag to pieces. And the CSB, I can't remember which is which, but there's a difference here between the ESV and the CSB. The CSB says that Agag, or I don't want to say it's the CSB. I don't remember. One of them says, One of them says Agag was happy because he thought to himself, surely the bitterness of death has passed. And the other one says Agag was sorrowful, for surely the bitterness of death has come. Now, what's that about? Because the CSB and ESV are using basically the same Hebrew text most of the time. What it gets at is the Hebrew language is very difficult, and trying to understand these things can be difficult.
And actually, one of the things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to jump in quickly. Colton, the ESV says cheerfully, and the CSB says trembling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I let you finish, Colton? I'm sorry if I.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just pointing out that's one area, even in modern translations, that are using basically the same base text. Yeah. That they're not agreeing with the English translation.
You're right. I actually have a text I'm going to be talking about Sunday a little bit. I mean, it's not the main part of my text, but Jeremiah 31, it talks about a woman encompassing a man. God is going to do a new thing. A woman will encompass it's very obscure, and the Bible translations translate it all different ways. They're not really sure what to do with it. Yeah. But what I was going to say is, these are the things that convince me that we should have updates I've looked at the NIV, and this will probably rub a lot of people the wrong way, actually. But the NIV 2011 is legitimately improved in certain ways. The gender language thing, I'm more conservative about that. But if you set that aside, if you didn't have the gender language change in the 2011, I think you'd be surprised that there were actually some real improvements made in the 2011. And it convinced me that, like, a lot of times people have this perception that older is better. But there are times where, and even in terms of like trends, the NIV 2011 is actually sometimes more literal. That's what's funny. And so that in and of itself kind of can make it better sometimes. But
and
I think
fair, Tim,
my answer to this, just so everybody understands where I'm coming from, my thought is I think these are frustrating realities for everybody. Everybody's frustrated by this. Here's the answer this is all I kind of take away from this. I'm not going to be angry at Zondervan for doing an update, but I'm not going to be angry at Thomas Nelson for keeping the New King James the same. How about we have both? How about we have a translation like the New King James that probably will never get updated? Fine. It's still going to become outdated. And how about we have a translation like the NASB that gets updated every 25 years and makes everybody angry? Fine. How about we have one that updates regularly like the ESV? I think all the approaches have their good points and their bad points. That's all I'm getting at.
I totally agree with you. I think my decision in coming to changing for preaching and teaching is solely based on the idea of not solely, but a large part based on the idea of text stability really matters when it comes to your teaching. And what I was going to say is, and I'm looking at this from a pastor's perspective, it's my job to give my people the information, right? So if there is a textual variant and it's important, like it's a variant that's enough to raise eyebrows, I don't want to leave this is not a KJV, only sort of thing in my head. I don't want to leave my people in the dark and just say, well, it's what the NKJV says. So that, it's like, no, I want to tell them, hey, there's some variant readings here. Here's what you need to know. And the likelihood is none of them are going to affect doctrine at all. So tell them the information as it's important, as it matters. But then, I'm thankful. This is where the KJV only people would have my head. But I'm thankful for the critical text. I'm thankful for the work that modern scholars are doing. I think when it comes down to it, like Dan Wallace said that everyone quotes, we have an embarrassment of riches. Like it's true. And I'm thankful for every last manuscript that we have. Praise God that he's given us those things.
Yeah, sometimes it's a good problem, right? It's kind of like we have a problem and we get frustrated, but we have to take a step back and realize it's because we actually have a good situation in a sense, and we can get So for you, Coby, do you have any thoughts on all this? I know that you actually like the NASB 2020. Did you ever have a point in your life where you had like a Bible that was your translation you used for a really long time, or have you always been kind of one that uses different ones?
Well, for a while it was the ESV. I used it. I can't even tell you how long, but and I still do, and I'm still going to be exposed to it weekly because that's what my pastor uses. But I'll still read it. I'm just choosing to read the New American Standard this year. I'm going to do a complete read through of the Bible, and any devotional type things I'm going to do, I'm going to use the 2020 edition. But like I'm using Be Thou My Vision. Well, there's parts in there that already has scripture in there, and it comes from the ESV. So of course I'll read that. But when it comes to me reading, I'm going to read the 2020. Now, for a while before I did start reading the ESV, I actually used the NASB 1995 for a stretch. And I'm one too. I kind of like to have what my church uses because to me it's just easier to when they're reading, it's easier to track.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm going to try to make it a point of taking the 2020 with me to church every week because I can just get my phone and pull up the ESV if there's a huge difference, and if I want to compare, I can get the Literal Word app and just pull it up, and
it's a great app.
It is. It's the best Bible app there is, especially for the price. It's free.
Yeah,
but
no kidding.
I mean, seriously, they could charge for it, and I would still want it because it's just a great app. But I also have the ESV app, which of course, I'm sure it's updated to the 2025, so I can even use it, to go a step further to say, all right, this is what the 2016 says. What does the 2025 say? And chances are it's going to be just exactly the same, just because, like we said, the notes are, the changes are so minimal. But I've heard it said, people, and I know you guys have heard this too. The best Bible translation there is one that you'll read. I wouldn't always go that far because you don't want to read the Passion.
That's what someone in the comments mentioned earlier.
But yeah, like I say, I like your more literal, if you will. So the NASB and the ESV have always been there for me. There was a small time where I did read from the New King James because the church I was attending used the New King James, and that was my first MacArthur Study Bible, was the New King James. So I'm thankful for it because I always tell people that was my gateway into Reformed theology, was through my first MacArthur Study Bible. But anyway, a whole nother story. But yeah,
the dispensationalist.
Yeah, but he had enough of the doctrines of grace in there to, I didn't even know what they were until later on. And there was a church I was going to, and people were talking about, this Calvinism stuff. And I was like, well, what is that? And they started, and I was like, well, I agree with all that. I'm like, I guess I'm one of those dirty Calvinists then. Yeah. Oops.
and to be fair, by MacArthur's own admission, he was a leaky dispensationalist.
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. I just watched his eulogy at Sproul's funeral the other day.
Bro,
and yeah,
I was using, the thing is, and I don't agree with MacArthur on a lot of things, but I was using today for sermon prep, I was reading his commentary on 2 Timothy for my text, and the man was just an excellent expositor. I mean, just so good at digging in. Yeah.
We lost a treasure with him, and we lost a treasure with Sproul.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep. So for me, I grew up with the King James Version all up until like college. And then I started using the New King James, a church that I actually am still part of the church. I'm a member there. They, at the time, were using the New King James. And for a good probably 15 years or so, that was my main translation. So, for like 35 years, I've always been King James, New King James, and I still am probably the most comfortable with the New King James in terms of what I'm used to hearing. And I love the New King James. I think it's, and I like to have a translation that is stable, but also very historical, has a lot of the wording in it, like begotten, for example. I like to have that. I think it's part of our heritage. I think there's value in that. But I like to have another translation that is almost a contrast to that, something that is very um, you know, able to be up to date, and not scared to break a little bit from tradition, if it's going to make something clearer that actually is in the text. So my greatest example with that is, while I think "For God so loved the world" is beautiful, I think "God loved the world in this way" is probably more accurate, and I think the CSB does a really good job with that sort of thing. It clarifies some things that traditional language may obscure unintentionally, because the word "so" in older English could mean "in this manner," and I could give you examples of that. But in John 3:16, people tend to hear it as "He loved the world so much." Whereas the CSB, I think, by breaking from that tradition a little bit, clarifies what the word "so" actually means. Nicholas doesn't look like he agrees with me on that, but I've done videos on this, and
It's not, yeah.
so definitely, I could give you examples where "so" definitely means "in this manner."
No, I agree with what you're saying there.
Yeah.
I think where I have the stickler, I think where I have a sticking point is when I read older writers like the Puritans. If I read the Church Fathers, they all understood that text to mean exactly what you said. God loved the world in this way, right?
Hmm.
I think it's more of a modern thing. Is I think honestly, our reading comprehension has gotten so bad that that's why a lot of people do read it. That and what was the way you worded that a moment ago? That people read it as like God loved the world
So
so
much.
much.
He
That
so loved. Yeah.
that yeah, that to me, when I say modern, I'm not meaning as in like all this last 20, 40 odd years. I mean even within maybe the last century or so. But like you go further back, honestly, if you read people like
Yeah.
Julian, you read
Yep.
Cyprian,
Hmm.
they all talk about that passage and they understand exactly what you said. God loved
Right.
the world in this manner that he gave up his
Well,
only begotten son.
one of the problems with giving examples is people kind of get in their mind like that I'm saying that's like the example that covers everything. No, that's just
Oh
one
no, no, no,
example
no!
of many where older English, it's not that it's wrong, it's just that it kind of passes you by without you even realizing it.
I
That's what I'm trying to say. By having a newer version, you catch those things. You're like, wait a second, I was misunderstanding this.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get that, and I think it's tricky because we live in a world now where I think a lot of, and again, this probably sounds like I'm just bashing on everything modern. I'm not, but it's also a frustration that I do have at the same time. I, over this last year, have become more and more concerned with how many Christians avoid church history because they think church history is Roman Catholic or it's Eastern Orthodox.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. And here's the thing: the more I delve into church history, like I'd studied a fair whack of church history before, and I don't say that to be arrogant. I just have. But over this last year, I have delved into it so much so that I have looked at certain things within my own theology and went, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I don't have it right. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'm fairly sure you three gentlemen know what I'm alluding to. But whenever you look at other things, whenever you look at how they interpreted certain passages and you look at how those passages are interpreted today, you look at an awful lot of modern interpretation and go, where on earth did the prosperity gospel come from? Where on earth did it? It's coming from people mangling the text. Like we all know that. We would all agree with that, right? But I'm using the prosperity gospel right now just so that everybody can be on the same page and go, yeah, definitely bad. But when you look at these older writers, these giants of the faith that went before them, I don't want to blindly trust them, right? Because that's not how faith works. It's not a blind trusting. But at the same time, there is something deep within me that wants to feel connected to my spiritual forefathers. They believe this thing. Why did they believe that? Let me look into it. Let me research it. Let me study it. And in a lot of areas, I have become, that's what I say, I've become an awful lot more conservative. So sometimes it maybe sounds like I'm ragging on modernity a bit. And a sense I am. And then there is another sense where I also understand, yes, we nowadays have a lot more available than those saints had. And it's a blessing. So yes, we can update things, we can do whatever. But my issue comes whenever we go, oh, all those saints of the past have had this way. Nah, we have it right. That bothers me. I'm not saying anyone here is done that. I'm just saying in general, I hate that mindset of, well, now
Yeah.
we have access to things like BDAG or,
Yep.
you name whatever else it is, and you get so many Christians today that are just like, yeah, the early church didn't have a clue, and it's like, oh no,
Yep. That's like what Lewis would call chronological snobbery.
yep, 100%, yep.
Yeah. So what I just to kind of wrap up my thought on this, I think that I would likely be the kind of person to say I'm going to have a more literal traditional translation that I actually teach from generally and speak from. But what I'm saying is I want to have something contrasting to that in my hand to make sure I'm understanding things correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not glossing over things that I shouldn't be getting. And yeah, these are actually good things. And that last point, you're right. There is, humans can kind of err, I think, very easily toward a bias, especially in our culture, against the past. You see that. I mean, I actually hate this trend right now where everybody says just horrible things about boomers. It's like, they actually are our grandfathers, and maybe we should have some respect. Okay? It's like, so there is a little bit of that tendency in our culture.
Oh yeah.
But it's, you do have to always,
Well,
and I know you guys agree with this, you have to keep things always in tension, because people of the past had their own blind spots too, right?
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when it comes back to talking about Bible translations and things like that. Like, I'll use the CSB as an example again because I do like it. But one of the reasons I would not use it for preaching and teaching is I don't like it robbing some theological words that I think are important. So an example of that would be propitiation. Atoning sacrifice does not convey what propitiation means at its fullest.
There's one spot though where they use the mercy seat, and that is literally what Paul actually says in that passage. Do you know what I'm referring to?
I don't know.
It's Romans 3, it might be 3:21, and literally, like, that's what Paul is referring to there, is the mercy seat, and the CSB has that. That's what I mean. In that case, propitiation and mercy seat go hand in hand. It helps you kind of, oh, okay, I see. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, they can completely eradicate a word that has a connotation.
And then
I'll
readily admit some of my biases there are just because I like the traditional readings. I mean, some of it's just so an example of that would be even though it is technically more understandable and accurate today, I loathe when I read the Psalms in the CSB and see Lord of Armies. And it's purely opinion. It's just I prefer the traditional Lord of Hosts. And it's just because of the tradition I was brought up in. That's what I've always read, and I know that that's a bias I have. I know Lord of Armies maybe communicates more easily what's being said, but
yeah,
it's just
I know
me.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
yeah. It's, again, what I'm most concerned about as a teacher is, are things unintentionally being obscured to people? Not because anybody's doing anything wrong, but is there a word that's being used? And Mark Ward talks about this all the time. It's not the words that you look at and go, I don't know what that means. That's fine. It's the word that you think you know what it means, and you're hearing it wrong. That's always the tricky one.
there's, and I'll give. The, we're so blessed to have these translations. I know we keep saying that, and it's true.
Yeah.
But I'll get the text I'm preaching on this Sunday, 2 Timothy 4:1-5, and one of the things I really like, the New King James in this example, I think conveys it better. Is it says in the NKJV that I'm gonna read it really quick here. So the ESV here says to reprove, rebuke, and exhort, right? Which is what I think the NAS says the same thing. The New King James, instead of reprove, has convinced. And upon looking at the actual word there, that's in my opinion, a better translation, because it's talking about getting into the mind, right? To convince, and then rebuke is about, and MacArthur backs this up, getting into the heart. So convince with the mind, rebuke in the heart, and it's just, I'm so thankful that I was able to, like, just by looking at different translations, to get a well-rounded picture. So I would never advocate for any sort of onlyism.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Like, no, let it not be so.
Yep. Oh, by the way, I'll just bring this comment up here. I wanted to actually, something came to my mind when I read this, because this is true. And I think you guys are kind of speaking to this right now too, like honor the heritage and the scholarship of the past. Because I was just reading Sherlock Holmes, of all things, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And like he literally quotes whole lines of other languages. It just puts it in the text there. One might have been French. I forget what the other one was. But like people in the past, sometimes in order to even graduate, they had to be able to read in these other languages. Like, yeah, they were smart cookies.
This is what I'm saying. This is why, and again, I'm because I know I do have a bias here as well. Everybody has a bias, and I think it's important that we know what our bias is so we can recognize our blind spots. I don't look at the past in the church history and go, "Oh, they got it all right." But whenever I look at so many saints, especially from the apostolic period onwards, right? So many of those guys wrote and spoke in multiple languages. Today, half of us can barely speak the one language that we're speaking. And I see a comment here by Kay Lancaster. He was saying about my comment about Cyprian. I wasn't talking about the word "so" with Cyprian. I'm saying these saints understood that text to know that God loved the world in this manner. I wasn't focusing on the word "so."
Yeah.
But there are things that whenever you look into church history, you also have to realize that the church fathers were a byproduct of their time. Like, they speak in a way, in certain areas, they speak very clearly. In other areas, like, for example, and I don't know if we have anyone Orthodox, Philip, he's left now, but if he was here, he'd have some pushback on that, and that's fine. But whenever you look at the church fathers and they would say that this is the body of our Lord, this is the blood of our Lord, they were speaking in a way that is theologically accurate, but they were not getting into the metaphysics of what that looked like. So whenever Rome comes along and says, "Oh, this means transubstantiation," or Lutherans come along and say, they don't use this term with Lutherans. They don't believe in constancy. The word bothering me tonight.
That's okay. The Lutherans don't want you to say it anyway.
It's true. They're stopping me from saying it. But the point is, lots of groups can look back at the church fathers and go, "Oh, you see, the fathers supported me here." No, they didn't. You're making that claim, but especially on things like the Lord's Supper or whatever, whenever they say this is the body of our Lord, this is that is all they are saying. They aren't getting into the metaphysics of what that looks like. what's happening behind the scenes. That happens with other things as well. So the reason why I bring that up is there are plenty of things that the church fathers said that I would look at and go, "Ooh, I don't think you had the full picture there," because we know Origin, incredibly smart dude. Origin actually ends up going off the rails and gets anathematized by the church. So can the church fathers err? Of course they can. But I think we would be fools if we completely throw church history out, which sadly I see far too many people in my own circles saying things like, I don't care what the church father said, I don't care about church history. I'm like, you're just cutting yourself off from your spiritual forefathers. Like, it's incredibly silly. Oh, we've got someone watching from Albania. Welcome.
I just saw that too. Yes, Happy New Year's, Albania. When did you hit the new year? I wonder what the time zone is there.
Europe? Well, Europe, they're bound to be roughly close to me.
About the same as you, maybe?
Maybe
5 hours?
Maybe an
right
hour.
Right now it's 1:05 where you are.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Nicholas, how do you do it? How do you do it?
I'm normally only starting my stream at this time.
Wow.
I do it at 4 a.m.
Look, Nicholas is the most awake of all three of us, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then someone mentioned, were the Mormons using the church fathers to push deification? Yeah. That's another.
Yeah. So what the Mormons do is the church fathers do speak of a process called theosis. But theosis is literally, we by grace participate in the divine nature. We do not take on the divine nature. We do not become gods. Like Peter quite literally says, we will become sharers in God's nature.
Right.
That's scriptural. But what the Mormons do is, they will appeal to the church fathers because, again, the church fathers were incredibly smart, but they spoke very plainly at times. They didn't try and worry too much about, explaining the metaphysics of things. So they just said things. So whenever the church fathers read that passage and, it says we will become partakers in the divine nature, some church fathers quite literally said, we will become what God is. Now, what did they mean by that? Did they mean that they would become gods themselves? No, they meant we will become sharers in the divine nature. But that's where Mormons will step in and go, you see, the church fathers taught.
I'm actually surprised that because Mormons completely reject the church, like the historic church, right? So why do they appeal to it if they reject it?
Because they do what all cults do. They pick and choose what's
They pick and choose. Yeah, that's weird.
Fits the narrative.
Oh, by the way, he is an hour ahead of you, it looks like.
I thought so. That's what I said. He should be an hour either side of me. So
there's a common saying about the fathers that I think is a good one, and it's, we need to learn to let the fathers be the fathers.
Yep.
Quit trying to force them into everything, that you want.
What I was thinking is how hard it is to, or how easy it is to misunderstand people. Look at us four here. We live at the same time. We've probably grown up in a lot of similar experiences in terms of our time period, and yet we live in different places. And there's still experiences that are slightly different for each of us that we kind of, it's easy to misunderstand people. Nicholas being in Northern Ireland, he has certain expressions that sometimes I'm like, wait, what did you say? Or just there might be just something. I mean, we know how Southerners are. They're awesome. But Northerners and Southerners, they definitely sometimes have different perspectives, right? Some little nuanced different perspectives. Oh man. Guys, we've been over 2 hours. I don't want to keep everybody too long. Do you have anything you want to wrap up with quickly here? Because I think we are going to get going. Have you all said everything you want to say?
Yeah. Buy my book. There you go. Buy my book.
This was good. We didn't have any specific topic that we set out necessarily to talk about, but we definitely talked about the things we're passionate about. And I'd love
That's what
to,
people tune in for, though.
yeah, I'd love to talk more with you guys. I was going to say next year, but for Nicholas, he's already there. So
All right, you guys will eventually catch up. Don't worry.
that's true. So I'll talk to them next year, and you, Nicholas, I've already talked to you next year. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
this is confusing. Anyway,
is now the time I should do the I haven't had a shower in a year?
Yes, you have to tell that joke. You have to tell that joke.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Thought I smelled something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do any of you have anything, Colton or Coby? Do you have anything about your channel you're planning for this coming year? Any or like any videos you're already planned out?
I mean, yeah, I've got a few things. I got a book review coming up. I reread recently, "Desiring God," from Piper, and so some of my thoughts have changed on it. I still love it, but I'm gonna kind of parse out some of that, do a little book review, and then
Cool.
I'm getting close to 4,000 subs. I'm getting on the brink. So as soon as we get even a little closer, I'm gonna have a giveaway to celebrate, and this will be I haven't even announced on my channel. I'm not going to announce it fully, but I'll just say one of the giveaways is a very nice rebind from Arc Bibles that I haven't gotten yet, but it'll be here soon, and be giving that away. So I'm excited to be able to do that.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I liked your Arc Bibles that you showed on your channel there. How did you know that person? Do they live near you?
No, Stan reached out to me, man. Just wanted to partner, and he saw that my wife had gotten a rebind.
Good boy.
And just wanted to share the love, and so I'm keeping the one he sent me because it's very special to me. But I actually commissioned him and paid him to do one for the giveaway. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Coby, what's happening on your channel?
My next video, I'm gonna probably record it tomorrow, is books I'm planning on reading for 2026. And then I've been debating for a while on doing different things with my channel. I know it's called Rural Bible Reviews, but I am thinking about branching out of just doing just Bible reviews and maybe doing like some theological discussions, things like that.
Cool.
I'm hoping to eventually get to 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to do that before the year is out, and once I do that, I'd like to do a premium Bible giveaway of some sort. So I think I'm like at 720 now or something like that.
Nice.
So it's only taken me 3 years to get there, but hey, that's okay.
Do you know something, brother? They say once you get that first 1,000 subs, like that's the slowest. After that, it's
can confirm. Yeah, true.
Yeah. So
and YouTube's an unpredictable journey. I can tell you that.
yeah.
From my own experience.
And not to even compare my channel to his, but like I watched like my first video I ever did, and I was like, well, I had the lingo down, and I knew what I was talking about. And then you go back and look at Wildsmith's first video, and you're like, and even he reviewed it, and it's like, he was trash. He didn't know what to call things, and now you look, and he's got like 1 million subscribers. It's like,
yeah.
How did that happen?
He obviously he was big on the learning curve, clearly, right?
Yes.
He really made it up that learning curve.
And not taken away from him by no means. And even he said, I think it was more nerves than anything. He knew what it was called. It was just like, the whole, what do I do here? But no, you never know how people's channels, like I know another guy that he's got as many subscribers as Colton, and you watch his channel and you're like, how'd that happen?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just not, It's just where the algorithm throws you, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it's fine.
Sorry, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just saying it's fine. I just keep plugging along, doing my thing, and
It's great.
there you go.
I like all your channels. Go ahead, Nicholas.
No, I was just going to say to offer encouragement to you as well, bro. Is like people prefer organic growth anyway, because like you actually get to know people that are regulars on your channel. Like if you blow up overnight and you gain this, say, 1,000 subscribers in a night, that's great. You will still make connections with some of those people, but are you going to make connections with all 1,000 of those people? No. A lot of those people won't comment. They probably won't like. I've noticed with YouTube, I'm sitting currently at 772, and on most of my videos, I average about 15 to 20 likes. Now, you look at that in comparison with how many subscribers you have.
Oh yeah.
It goes to show you sometimes a lot of people will hit subscribe to be nice, which is great. I love it. Thank you to those people that do that. I do that to people as well. I hit subscribe. But not everybody interacts with your videos either. So I think sometimes it's nice whenever you see that little boost. You've had a certain number, you're like, great, I've had a goal. But then whenever you realize, okay, not all of those people are actually active though, and then it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, and I have figured out too that the Bible review channel is a like I've got some videos that's got 3,000-4,000 views,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, and like one of them, when I first put it out, it got like 2,000 views like right off the bat, but it was one of the LSB first editions. I was one of the ones that got one of the first ones.
Yep.
And I think I didn't even have 100 subscribers at the time. I'm like, how do I have 2,000 views? And but see, people are looking for that.
That's awesome.
And you guys know too, unless you know, like right now, the Veritas and the Gloria Day and the new Alpha. That's the 3 Bibles that everybody's reviewing. I don't have any of those 3 because I can't buy any of those 3 right now. And like I said, I'm not fortunate enough for Crossway to send them to me, which is fine. I'm not complaining by no means.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're not doing the latest and greatest, you know, you're not going to get the views sometimes. So
yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
Honestly, Coby, I'll tell you, at least for me, one of the things I was able to do is I remember the first video that kind of blew up. Not blew up, but like it was a Bible review that did way better than I expected. And it was the ESV Church History Study Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because I was the second YouTuber to review it. Like there weren't any others. It was me and I think Nichols. I think that was it. And even in that one was a more inexpensive Bible. I didn't get it in like a super nice cover or anything. I just got it in a way I could review it. And people want to see it. And if you're one of the only ones, you know, and you're able to buy like a $20 Bible to review that people are interested in, but there's not a lot of traction on it online at the moment, as far as not many people are doing it. You'll be surprised. Like,
oh yeah.
And that's why branching out is good too, because if you open your channel up to theological discussions as well, you're going to attract a different audience, which means you get the best of both worlds then as well.
Oh, I know.
Or even just topics, even around the Bible. Sometimes my biggest video in that happened early on, it was just a topic of, are premium Bibles a sin to own?
Oh yeah,
that was it.
Yeah,
just like answering that question.
And you definitely said yes, right?
Yeah, no. No.
I just watched a guy yesterday that I've never seen before. He just happened to pop up on my, recommended, and I watched him, and he was talking about owning premium Bibles and he don't even review Bibles. I think he's a KJV only guy, but he would just get on there and just read scripture and talk about it. And evidently people gave him some pushback for having premium Bibles. And so he just got on there and explained it. And he had he's got a decent, amount of subscribers and everything, but he got a lot of views on that video. And I was like, yep, that's a heated topic, so
that's yeah. If you want view, it's like we were saying earlier, you have to deal with some of the negativity, but boy, if you hit on a topic that people feel strongly about, that will a lot of times get the most views.
It will.
That's why Before we all click off too, gents, I've got a comment for Coby. I'll ask it now. It's over in my channel, but that's why we talked about this on stream recently too, Gabe and I. Like, whenever we tackle the topic of Islam, our views skyrocket. We're not always going to be tackling Islam, because the thing is, I don't want to become the type of channel that only does things that hits numbers, because that's not authentic. But here's the sad reality for anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel. If you chase the drama, you will blow up. Trust me, you will blow up within a year, because people will come to you knowing that you're going to tackle those subjects. The problem with that is you will lose your passion for YouTube, because it's not something you're actually interested about talking about. It's likely going to drag you down mental health wise, and it's going to invite so much like literal drama to your own channel. And you're like, we all deal with haters in one form or the other, but if you're going to be a drama channel, you're going to get a lot more. Yep. But anyway, let me ask you this question before I keep you all going. Zach wants to know, his comments disappeared. I think he was asking about your background, Coby, but his comments disappeared on my end, so I'm not sure now what his question was.
Oh. Well,
I don't know why his comment disappeared. It was there, and then maybe he deleted it. I don't know.
He may have, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have hopefully some future discussions again, but I'm going to let the audience go, and thank everybody for being with us for the New Year's celebration for Nicholas. We haven't gotten there yet over here in the U.S. We're getting closer though, but happy 2026 to Nicholas. And
happy 2026.
Yeah, we'll be saying that soon here. So we're going to say goodbye to the audience, and you guys have a good rest of your night or day, depending on where you are.
God bless.